My family, we'd move to a small town in Illinois every summer. I think part of it was to try and escape the AC bills because my parents were both teachers. We'd go out there, there'd be nothing to do. My grandma lived right next to train tracks, and so as kids, that's all we'd do. We'd run out and watch trains.
I think music fell in love with me. I didn't fall in love with it, as I don't remember a time that I didn't want to do it. I remember being at school and having all these friends around me that were trying to learn to play and they were struggling, and I would stay after school and help them learn because I just wanted friends to play with. So I was trying to build an orchestra that could keep up with me by giving them as much of myself as I could.
I think I hear one rumbling. No, I shoot very sparse. But again, that's funny thing is, oh, it's coming in on the close track. Yes, it's almost here. It's gonna be right here. I'm just gonna stand right here and watch it. There are some photos that, yeah, you know immediately once it's hit. You don't even have to look at them in the camera. You know that once you press that button and the strobe is fired and that athlete was in that stage of motion, you know you have it. There's nothing stopping it from being a great image.
When I first hear a shadow song, it's like a dull color palette. And as I focus my energy into listening to these sounds and curating it into a theme, it's muddy and it's like a smudged window, and you just have to keep working and working at clearing the window until you can see it, but you can feel it. You feel that it's there.
I used to be behind a camera and I'd lock up because you get overwhelmed on these photo shoots where you have 30 or 40 assistants and celebrities, and it's a large production. But what I do is I would shut my camera off and I would just watch everyone through the reflection on the LCD screen. Looking at the LCD screen not for the picture that was created on the camera, but for the world that existed behind me.
Let's say that you are an ace mechanic and you have your garage where you have your tool chest and you know where your wrenches are and your screwdrivers are and your lights and your fluids, and you just know where everything is, so that as you're working you just kind of reach and it's there. Well, imagine that one day, and for every day after that, for 5 years in a row, someone came in overnight and moved everything so that the next day you had to re-find all of your tools.
Why am I out here? The most straightforward answer would be to photograph a train. The more circular answer would say to bring myself back down to earth a little bit. Out here because it's peaceful. It allows me to breathe a little bit better out here. And I think that's where the anxiety creeps in, is you let the rest of life overwhelm you, that the autonomic aspects of it just don't seem to follow. And you get out here and you hear the wind or you see a train and you just take that inhale. And everything just calms down. That's why it's almost like a natural Xanax.
When I pull out certain pieces of music, it's like the world just disappears and I want to play it, and I really don't even care if anybody likes the way it sounds.
At my psychiatrist, I went there because I told her I'm not getting through anymore. I'm not getting by at the house anymore. I'm starting to have breakdowns with my, at that point, 2 or 3-year-old daughter and all the noises she made. And so she said, "Tell me about your daughter." And I said, well, she's this old, she does this, she makes these noises. And my psychiatrist says, "Is she also autistic?" The friends that I called and told them that I had been diagnosed with autism, the close friends all laughed. And the ones that were in the medical field more or less said, "Are you serious? It took you this long to realize it?" I always knew it, but I didn't really care.
How am I doing now? What's autism like now? It's getting harder, not easier. There was a point where it seemed to be getting easier, but it's getting harder. And there are zero supports and resources around for me to go to. If I talk about aging and autism, I don't know, there's just nothing there.
There are pieces of me that I wish didn't exist, but the larger picture, the whole, I am every day grateful for, because my art is a derivative of my mind.
I'm definitely one of those people that once I start composing, I sit, I forget about eating, I forget about everything else. I just focus on what I'm doing. I just want to be obsessive about the thing I want to do, and I want to do it, and I want to work on it until it's done. And other people want, structure and and schedules and breaks.
My life kind of lives off frame lines. I see things on thirds. I'm comfortable with them being on thirds. My obsession with detail is a lot of times a detriment. I don't want to say never. Not usually on those around me. It's not conducive to sleep, but at the same time, yeah, maybe it helps me convince myself that I possess what everyone thinks of as art. Because I think that every artist probably goes through that struggle.
Creating is supposed to be that place where I go into my studio here, into my space alone, uninterrupted, and just work and create something. And hopefully when I'm done with it, people get something out of it.
I think a lot of people see a person that is on top of the world when it comes to photography and doing big photo shoots and making great achievements, but they often don't see the guy that goes home and cries at the end of the bed. I think those that are successful on the spectrum, they're very good at curating their image, letting the world in places that they're willing to, but not others.
A part of us that in the arts world, in the creative world, photography, film, music, dance, it's a little easier to mask because I think to a certain extent people expect artists to be odd. So and maybe one of the reasons the field is so inviting is that we don't have to create yet another layer.
People who have autism, who are artists, have this language that we can talk to each other in. For me, that's lighting, and for Laura, that's music. It's less listening to a song, it's a conversation with Laura. What she wrote is beautiful.
Neurotypicals are noisy and like to blow stuff up. I could do without that. I'd like a quieter world, a little bit more peace and pause.
Trains being all caps was a function of probably how I say it in my mind. Celebrities, autos, trains. Works.